Assisted living. When Sandra goes cold,
Could you just get out of here, please?
Mr. Brown turns up the heat.
Maybe you should call Madea. What? Madea get us straight. Well, you don't want to do that unless you got a good insurance policy, because Madea's gonna probably just choke her out.
Tyler Perry's House of Pain and Assisted Living. All new next Wednesday at 8 on BET.
All right, Assisted Living fans, this will be my preview or trailer breakdown for episode 17 of season 1, airing November 18th, entitled The Talk. The synopsis is: Sandra responds to the most unlikely motivator. Alright, before going further in the video, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button to show you like the video. Also, go ahead and hit subscribe. We just hit 150,000 subscribers. Let's try to get to 200,000. Most importantly, click on the bell and turn on all notifications. That way you are made aware whenever I post to the channel. Trying to get that percentage up so I have a decent amount of my subscribers watching my content versus non-subscribers who watch my content. Matter of fact, over 75% of non-subscribers watch the content. Hit subscribe, damn it. And then finally, follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. The biggest talking point of this trailer, believe it or not, I had at least 15 people actually last night send me the trailer, or at least DM me, Jeremy, Madea's coming. She's coming to Assisted Living. I did the video, I want to say maybe a week ago, about if Madea is going to show up. Trust and believe that was a pure speculation video. I'm sorry. Let's just talk about the trailer. There's only 2 talking points. Sandra is still cold and disrespectful towards her parents. Big whoop. Then Mr. Brown suggests Madea comes over to get her in line, but you might want to need an insurance policy because she'll probably just smack the hell out of her. So there's that. Let me go on IMDb real quick. If you could just excuse me for one moment. I'm going to see if I can find the cast listing for next week, even if it is Madea on there, it probably won't say it, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so it's season 1 is 25 episodes, so I guess that means 25 as well for House of Pain. Yeah, I literally forgot how many episodes it was supposed to be. Okay. Episode 17, The Talk, and we're looking at no information at all. Sorry. So I can't tell you whether or not Madea is showing up, but it's like I said in my other video. I think the thumbnail had Madea and Vinny up on there, and I said I think Tyler made it perfectly clear that he's going to spend more time behind instead of in front of the camera. And I even talked about how Madea showing up could be a boost in ratings, but only for the episode or 2 she might come up. Like maybe Madea pops up at the cliffhanger ending or something, kind of like what Brown did, where I think it was Jeremy that called Brown and Brown came over. And that was like the last 5 minutes of the episode. Then in the next episode, Cora showed up, and then that's when things started to look a little better on the show. But remember, the synopsis said Sandra responds to the most unlikely motivator. I'm thinking Mr. Brown is probably the unlikely motivator. That's just me. But to be honest, based on the characters from the show, we know she can't stand her parents, not to mention her brother. So I think Jeremy, Leah, and Philip are an obvious no. Unlikely really isn't the phrase I would use to describe Cora, so I don't think Cora is that person. When it comes down to it, I'm thinking it's probably Vinny or Mr. Brown. Honestly, I think Vinny would be a good choice because it would actually give this character a redeeming quality, because most people just cannot stand how vulgar J. Anthony Brown's character is written to be in the show. I mean, we know he's a raunchy comedian and whatnot. I love his stand-up growing up, but in the midst of a Tyler, that's why I feel like Miss Alice from Brugg gets a lot of flack from fans, because her actress is playing a role we've never seen her in before, and it feels like a lot of the raunchiness and whatnot is definitely uncalled for and doesn't fit the bill for the scenes that she's in most of the time. Like, there are some good scenes, but at the same time, there's always that sexual reference. It's almost like, and I hate to use this phrase, but I feel like in a lot of ways, there's a lot of Tiffany Haddish sprinkled into the dialogue when it shouldn't be, because we know how raunchy and over the top and loud she is. But sticking with Vinny, I think it would be great to have a conversation between, what is it? Jeremy is Vinny's grandson, so that would make Philip and Sandra the great grandchildren. Yeah, basically have a good scene with his great grandchild. We saw somewhat of a sentimental scene in the episode 16 between Jeremy and Vinny in regards to dealing with the sheriff. Even though, you know, Vinny was talking down about how Jeremy needs to man up, but he had his grandson's back. I actually like that. But I think that Vinny should be the person to have that motivational speech with Sandra, because it would be like the first sentimental scene he's been in, but that's not what his character was written to be. I know it's obvious most people want Madea to show up, but let's be real here. I think that in the trailer, it was just one of the 500 references to Madea that have been used in this season so far. I'm not saying it's impossible for Madea to show up. I just don't think it's likely. That's just my opinion. So, and not to mention to have, well, I would say Madea to show up, you know, for just this one conversation would make a whole lot of sense to begin with, especially with, we don't know exactly how far Madea lives from the assisted living facility. And no, don't try to fourth wall break it now. Well, Jeremy is filmed on Tyler Perry studio lot, so it's probably right up the street. No, we're not doing that. So, I mean, it's just very interesting to think about. Something else I was just randomly thinking about, since everything's filmed on the same lot. Who's to say that if Wyatt's allegedly dead, so I was about to say if he ends up at a crack house, imagine if Wyatt ends up at a crack house on Have and Have Nots if he's still alive, and the crack house is just the scene or the stage from assisted living. That would be funny as hell. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. So with that being said, we'll have to see if Madea shows up and talks with Sandra. We'll have to wait and see, because, you know, Madea would just grab that phone, throw it out the window, and make this girl listen to what her parents are saying. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But remember, it's called The Talk. So I'm assuming this talk occurs in this episode, because what I don't want to see is like the first several minutes. I mean, I say what I don't want to see, but then I know it's going to happen based on the formula of these shows. I feel like we all know the formula. The first 5 minutes is just pointlessness. Then the theme song kicks in. Then we have another 5 minutes of two characters going back and forth over nothing. Then the last 10 minutes, sometimes things kind of pick up, but things get dragged out. Then we got the cliffhanger. I'm thinking Sandra's probably going to be going at it with her parents again. Then the theme song kicks in. Then it's going to be Sandra, Leah, Jeremy, and Brown and Vinny talking about, Cora, Brown, Vinny, Cora, Brown, Vinny, Jeremy, and Leah talking about the situation. Then Medea's brought up in the conversation, and then they probably decide not to do it because Cora's like, no, Madea, no, I don't think so. I think that Vinny should be the person to have the talk, to give him at least one good redeeming scene, or it's going to be Mr. Brown. Just my opinion. So with that being said, as always, I appreciate the support on the video. So if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App, or you can join Patreon like these lovely individuals who will pop up on the screen towards the end of the video. You can join in for as little as $1 a month. Sadly, I really don't post a lot of content on there, but I mean, it's just like if you want to, hey, here's like $1 a month, so $12 a year, just to say I appreciate what you do. But if you want to just send quick, fast, in a hurry donation, PayPal, Cash App's definitely the way to go. But just you watching this content helps me out, so please don't undervalue watching the video, liking and subscribing and commenting, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and brings more traffic to the channel. So as always, I appreciate the love, even though these shows I don't really enjoy reviewing. And with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next video.